Wait, do you ever get disappointed when you're showing someone something for the first time and you really want them to get it? And
No,
they
not
don't?
at all. I think
Yes.
Matt knew exactly where I was
Absolutely.
going with that question.
I'm clearly an Eeyore.
I'm probably Rue.
I'm a Christopher Robin with a Pooh Rising.
And then I get in a canoe and I'm like, players don't like canoes.
No, they don't.
I'm afraid of this lake.
That's exactly what it was.
Ow.
It was a beautiful moment in our friendship. I was
literally in the middle of getting ready. I was like, up and down the
Pathetic.
stairs. Ow. I was like, I'm trying to get my hair done. I'm like,
I don't think that's an accurate representation of my owl.
well, you were in such pain you couldn't see clearly. So,
Trauma.
Thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. I'm Matt Young. I'm a theater educator and a parent. And ever since I lost my father to cancer, I have been mildly obsessed with death. This is my last will and testament. Melanie Beattie once said, "Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend." Today, in honor of Thanksgiving, we discuss gratitude. Let's see where this one ends up. Today's episode is brought to you by the Town Players of New Canaan's production of A Christmas Story, opening December 1st and running through the 17th. This classic movie is as quotable as any movie. "You'll shoot your eye out," or "Fragile, it must be Italian." "Oh, fudge. I triple dog dare you. Be sure to drink your Ovaltine." Did these famous quotes from the movie make it into the live stage production? Well, you're going to have to come to the Town Players of New Canaan and see for yourself. Tickets are available at tpnc.org. Get your tickets now. Let's face it, people. The holiday season is here. Let's stop fighting it. Let's just embrace it. Go to the Powerhouse Theater in Waveney Park and enjoy A Christmas Story. Again, tickets available at tpnc.org.
God, this is so fucked up, some of it, but it's real.
I'm just going to press play because
Yeah,
it's
Grady.
been an hour.
Grady, can you put your mic to your mouth, please?
Why?
Because we can't hear you.
In one of the episodes, you call him out on not having the mic to his mouth. I can't remember exactly how you said it, but it was so funny to me. He was like, "I'd like to do something." And you're like, "Well, I'd like you to put the mic to your mouth."
Did you
It
guys
was
get
so
together
demanding.
last weekend?
We did get together.
What did you do?
We did. What did we do?
Because Fear was released this week.
Starts with a B.
B. What did we do?
We did, Engorgio. We did
something. It's somewhere. Oh, the paper. I don't remember. You listener will know what it is because it will come out before this. But yeah, I did go back and do Fear because we had that one lined up.
Yeah, because
You know,
I'm
that was a
starting
good
to
one.
have a problem remembering what we've done because Fear came out and I was like, I don't remember doing that one.
Yeah, right now it's whatever Grady and I did last week, and this is what we have.
This
What
one
did we
has
do?
to come out
Oh,
this
Necessity. That's what we did. We did
week.
Necessity.
Oh, that starts with the B.
Yeah,
But Necessity. Oh, Bare Necessity.
The
that's
Bare Necessity.
exactly what it was. Oh, and we got a phone call in the middle. We took a phone call again.
Who was it from?
Nancy.
It was from Nancy. She had a really insightful
Yeah, she dropped the mic.
on thoughts on Necessity, and I put the phone right up to the mic, and we got great audio.
Oh, that's amazing.
So anybody want to call while we're doing this?
My phone's on Do Not Disturb, so
Oh.
feel free to call.
Nice. Welcome to the Last Will podcast. We're recording in the afternoon. This is new for us.
Yeah, which is going to throw me off because it's still light out, and I'm going to think it's the morning.
That's true. And you waited to have coffee till now, too.
Yeah.
So you're trying to keep the routine alive.
I woke up late, though, so me having coffee now is the same amount of time I would have had coffee after I woke up if it were earlier, if that made any sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Grady is here with us. He's just reading a play.
No, we're
that
talking
he
about
is
gratitude. We're talking about
convinced-
gratitude.
He's convinced
No, don't
that this
talk
play
about it. Don't
is
talk
never
about it.
going to get produced.
Don't talk about it.
Well, I
think
just
he's
said it.
going to get $500,000.
I don't want you to talk. Don't talk about it.
Okay.
Because if we do that, it'll we can't confuse the universe.
I'm getting $400,000
You lost $100,000 in your
from a scratch off.
from a scratch off to produce this play.
I love scratch.
I was just saying, if I said that you don't think it'll ever get produced, that maybe I've been wrong on so many things in my life that maybe that will change, and it will get produced.
Well, I like that thought.
You kept telling me to shut up.
I've never
Well,
said to shut up.
If you continue to think that it will not get produced, then it won't, because that is how we anti-manifest.
Yeah, you can antimatter. You can anti-manifest. What is the name of this play, Grady?
A Little Life.
A Little Life, based on a book, right? Based on a
It's the
novel.
pre-
Based
to
on
a
a
Little
based
Women.
on a novel. Yes.
It's a prequel.
Mhm.
It's not the after whatever that
This?
was
It's the prequel to The Little Women.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
the offensive face that Grady is making towards
Hanya
Claire.
Yanagihara. No, it's
Horrified that she would say that. So A Little Life is, explain it to us.
I can't.
It's a cute little book. Whatever he's holding in his hand.
It is little, but I got to say, it's sturdy. If you had that book in your purse and someone attacked you, you could attack them back with that book and it would hurt.
I love that.
This is a- this
I'd
is a-
love for that to be a headline. That would bring some awareness to this play.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, there's been
Used
plenty of
as
awareness
defense.
brought. This play just closed in London. The book was written in 2015. It was adapted, and it took her 18 months to write this book. I think her newest book, it took her 18 years. Her first book, sorry, The People in the Trees.
What is she, George R.R. Martin?
She's pretty
Patrick
amazing.
Rothfuss?
She's
He's
quite
still
amazing.
not done.
No, and it'll never be done. Those books will never be done.
Well, doesn't he have so much money now? He doesn't have to do anything.
I think he was doing okay beforehand.
You know, whenever anyone mentions the year 2015, I always stop and think, because I think there's a lot that happened in that year for me. But whenever you mention any other year, I never stop and think as much as when I think of 2015.
What was the pinnacle of things that makes you remember that?
I guess there was a pinnacle. There was a big. I did put myself on a path.
Okay, yeah. Right.
But I've definitely made distinct life changes in other years too, but never as one that stuck out to me as much as 2015. When I think about it, let's say if we talk about references to certain things, when I think of 2015, I think of sunlight, because I spent the beginning of the year in San Diego
Okay.
for a month, and I think of sunshine and warmth, and then I decided to move back home.
You moved from San Diego back to New England.
I went there for what I thought was going to be a vacation,
Okay.
because I thought I had a job in the bag.
Ooh.
So I was going to be there for 2 weeks to be with my sister and then come home. But
What was the job? Can I ask? No, can't ask. All right.
and then well, it was in the same field that I'm currently in.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's really all I wanted to know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, say nothing too crazy. But then when I was there, the job fell through. So I was in San Diego without a job and income and no job prospects. So anyway,
I like San Diego.
loved it. Should have stayed.
Perfect weather, right? They say it's the
Beautiful.
most perfect weather.
Yeah.
Oh, I just punched my microphone. I do remember years like the years my kids were born, like 2008 and 2010. Those years will anytime something happens or somebody says that, I always associate them with my children. But outside of that, I don't think so. Like, I don't remember the year my sister passed. I know it's about 6 years now. But I don't like that doesn't stick into me. I guess I remember when my father passed because it was 2000. He didn't get to, did he get to really experience the hysteria of Y2K? I think he just got it a little bit.
Y2K.
A little bit.
Wow.
The big hysteria behind that.
We can't ever get as excited about something like that ever again.
No.
Because the internet wasn't as big as it is now.
No.
And now we have too much out there, too much to believe or not believe, or when believing becomes too stressful, and not believing is too nihilistic, then you just go be.
I am
Which is what?
so impressed that you landed that sentence, because I thought somewhere in the middle of that sentence, I wasn't sure where we were going, but you fucking landed it. Well done, Claire. Well done.
You go B.
B. Just go B. Just go decide to go B.
I don't understand.
You don't understand?
Hold my hand like a small child. Walk me through that.
I'm just thinking
Just
of going
being-
into the woods and absorbing the world instead of...
When things are too much and you can't deal, or you can't... Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but not in a nihilistic sense that you just decide to expel everything. Like, you go and you accept what the world is instead of fighting against it.
What if it's too painful?
So you kind of
Or-
you're getting out of your head and just into like living.
Everyone's getting out of the collective head.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, God.
it's all right. It's all right. I only think half the audience may have
I
thought
wish
that
there
was
was a
dirty.
different way I could have said that.
Yeah, well, too late now. Again, welcome to the Last Will podcast.
Grady.
Yes.
He's
Welcome.
there. He's
I'm here.
We may have to take his book away from him.
No, I'm just... There's a
Um,
quote I'm looking for.
Okay. Well, we're doing gratitude today. We've decided that we needed to come up with a positive topic to discuss.
Since Thanksgiving is just coming up in a few days, even though you may be listening to this in 2025 during Easter. Happy Easter.
No, I think this will probably come out the day before Thanksgiving. No, that's
Yeah.
this. Yeah, if I put it out this week and I
It's a-
saw necessity,
Yeah.
then it will. This will be our Thanksgiving
Well, that's
episode.
not necessary.
It's not necessary.
Well, it's a good topic to have for the holidays because I think we get so wrapped up in the crap
Yeah.
that is around the holiday season that we forget what the
family
point is.
dynamics.
Yep.
And
Christmas presents and
presents,
shopping,
receiving, and
receipts.
yes. What?
Yeah, receipts.
You collect all your receipts?
My mom does.
Ooh.
I did, and then I do, and then I throughout the year I'm like, I can get rid of these now, right? And then I don't.
Ooh.
But I keep them in a bag somewhere.
Is it possible you can make a quilt out of them? Or
If you really want a paper
scrapbook?
quilt, a scrapbook would be funny.
yeah, right.
I'd have to pay someone to do that for me, though. I wouldn't
you
do it
don't have the
myself.
patience for that.
No, I don't.
Okay, so let's go with the definition right now while Grady continues to look for his quote.
No one needs to know what I'm doing.
I just
Well,
know
they
that
do.
you're. I
Physically.
just know that Matt and I are talking, and
I'm listening, and I can repeat everything you just said.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. As we hear just pages flip. Oh, no. Oh, no. We made him put his book down. No, he's
I'm
gonna
not really sure if I was feeling out of my body, and
I didn't tell
then
you
the
I
rains
said that,
came.
but I was thinking that yesterday.
Well, that's how good I am.
That's
you-
not fair.
Are
I
you
didn't.
guys holding a private
I
conversation?
didn't ask him to read what was in my mind 16 hours ago.
Well,
Right.
I just wished everybody
Don't be
happy
rude.
Easter in 2025.
That's true, you did. Is it going to be 2025? What
No,
year is
not
it?
It's
yet.
2024.
Tomorrow's 2024. I mean, next year.
Where are you? Jesus.
It's hard to remember. Gratitude, the definition. Gratitude is a positive emotion and a thankful appreciation for something or someone. It involves recognizing and acknowledging the kindness, generosity, or support that one has received from others or from life circumstances. Gratitude is often accompanied by a sense of thankfulness, contentment, and humility. When someone experiences gratitude, they recognize the value and importance of the positive aspects of their life. It can involve expressing appreciation for the people, opportunities, experiences, or things that have contributed to their well-being, happiness, or personal growth. That sentence continued, even though I put a period where it should be. Gratitude can also involve recognizing the lessons or growth that can come from challenging or difficult situations. Expressing gratitude can take many forms, such as saying thank you, writing a thank you note or letter, performing acts of kindness in return, or simply reflecting inwardly on the blessings and positive aspects of one's life. Blessings. Cultivating gratitude has been shown to have numerous psychological, emotional, and social benefits, including increased happiness, improved relationships, reduced stress, and enhanced overall well-being. Period. End of definition.
That last bit's interesting because, if we all were prescribed gratitude by the doctor
Okay.
but it was in pill form, we'd all take it. But it's not. It's something you need to practice.
I call it vitamin D.
Really?
Yeah.
You get gratitude from vitamin D?
Well, it's supposed to be like taking the place of getting sunlight, I think.
It's like taking the sun.
That. Yeah. Although I really, that was just a dirty lie. I haven't taken vitamin D in a while. I haven't bought. I usually take it, but it's been months.
I've
since
been
I
wondering how long do you have to take it for it to make you happy?
Yes,
4 years.
4 years, yeah.
It's a long time.
4 years.
Um,
And there's no guarantee. 50-50 efficacy rate.
yes, and the side effects are crazy.
Yeah,
Sunburns.
when you take the D, you definitely.
See, I knew the minute I said vitamin D where we were going to go with it, and now we're there. It didn't take us very long.
I've been prescribed vitamin C
I-
now.
I just
Okay.
And the pills are about 3/4 of an inch long. And it doesn't feel right.
Well,
Oh,
3/4 of an inch long won't feel right. You definitely want at least at least a full inch.
Of vitamin C.
Well, yeah, vitamin D and the vitamin C, yeah.
Your vitamins in general.
I don't
I
like when
guess.
they're too big.
No.
Kind of like your wand.
Let's just be honest. Vitamin C can help you get over a cold.
Yeah, and
there's my-
prevent one, which is why I'm
Yes.
taking it now. It's also good for bone health.
Yes.
And
I noticed your bones were seeming,
yeah.
Sturdier.
yes.
Sturdy bones. God, we just maneuvered our way right out of that.
Bones.
So gratitude, where I think Claire brings up a really good point. Like if it was in pill form, we would take it every day and we would have that and it would enhance
We'd
our
have
lives.
no problems.
But we have to kind of search it out. Do you find for either of you, do you find it difficult to find gratitude in your life for
Yep.
things?
I think
Yeah.
because gratitude often hides out in plain sight, we
Mm.
make it difficult to find, or we think it's difficult to find.
It's so much easier to look at the things that are upsetting
Oh, absolutely.
than the things that are, or the silver lining of every
And
one of those
sometimes you don't want to
upsetting
fucking
things.
look at the fucking silver lining. Sometimes things are just too painful, and you have to honor that and get through it.
I did think with our conversation that happened before, our hour-long conversation, which we always have before
Yeah.
we actually start rolling, I was like, how are we going to get to gratitude?
Well, we're here now, and we
We're
seem
gonna-
pretty serious
we're gonna
about
put
it.
on our Wellingtons
This is-
and
yeah.
try to muck through it.
Aww.
Yes,
I
Wellington
know.
was a dog that
I-
was killed by a pitchfork, but I was talking about the rain
A
boots.
garden
I'm
full.
thinking of Paddington Bear. Doesn't he wear Wellingtons?
I believe he does.
Yeah, and a cute raincoat and a hat.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Us all.
That's where you're.
We're thinking Wellington the dog.
Oh, right, the dead one.
Yes, the one.
Yeah,
with-
I'm sorry. I can't go there today.
yeah.
Oh, it's okay. I'm just having to live it every day. Don't worry about it.
Um.
I'm grateful for it, though.
So yeah, getting to
But-
gratitude today felt like it was going to be a difficult thing. So like ignoring or pushing towards the negative. No, okay. Let me start again because I was a little lost there in my brain.
Yeah, you're just not really. You're a little off today, Matt.
I agree.
Let him finish. You didn't let him finish.
I agree. Touche. Touche, Miss Kenny. What I wanted to say was, is gratitude something? It's one of those things that when you have gratitude towards someone, does it have to be appreciated? And does gratitude work best within oneself when it is almost like a private experience? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you are mixing up outside emotions with inside emotions in that question.
Isn't gratitude all encompassing?
Well, if you're like showing gratitude or feeling gratitude is really
Okay.
the difference,
Giving a gift,
you know. Yes.
calling someone, saying, "Hey, I really appreciate you. Thank you."
I guess that version is much easier for me to show gratitude than it is to feel gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would probably be a true statement for myself. I wonder why I struggle with feeling it.
I definitely do, but I know what it is now. I know because I had to ask somebody at one point. I had asked a therapist. I said, I actually don't know what it means. Because when people would say to me, you know, we would talk about gratitude or it'd come up and I'd kind of roll my eyes and I brought up, I was like, I don't understand it. And this person described it to me as something that you really truly appreciate. she just asked me, you know, like, how do you feel? What is something that you love more than anything in the world? And I thought about my cats.
Okay.
I was like, I would do anything for them. And also the feeling that I get when I see them is just genuine love. And so I started with that, and I took that feeling and I thought about what that feeling was, and then I started to understand what gratitude means in certain things. And it's not like, oh, I'm grateful for my life, and I'm grateful for that I have a job and I can buy a car and I blah blah blah. It's more like I'm grateful for the people in my life who allow me to feel comfortable and be myself. And I am grateful. There are certain things that in myself I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that I am the person that I am. I'm grateful for things that other people would not necessarily be grateful for, but that doesn't matter because it's not their life, it's mine.
I think we tend to look at the grand things and wonder if we have gratitude for this or we don't have gratitude for that, and measure our success based upon those things. And
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is that there are these small things, these small.
I don't
Achievements
identify
aren't the
with
right
the
word.
greater things. Like I'm grateful for God. Oh, don't get that one. Don't understand what that means. You know, I'm grateful for.
Take that, God.
I'm
Grateful for the
grateful.
Almighty. Oh,
No, but I get
right,
that.
Snape.
I mean, I'm grateful for my own understanding of what a higher power is. You know,
Right.
whatever that means to me. I'm
Just that language is clearer than.
I'm grateful to know how to work a corkscrew.
Good for you. That's hard. Corkscrews were so confusing to me when I was a child.
Are you grateful now that you can work one?
Yeah, except I don't need to use one anymore. And it's just fine. But if I
How
ever
about this
needed to-
weather? Sorry. Okay, so
Walked into that.
But they
one.
made them electronic now because people had such a hard time. To be honest, I was never that good with corkscrews. I was fucking them up, breaking the cork and everything.
isn't that like finding gratitude a little bit? You gotta get good at it. Dig,
I
dig
think,
down and pull it out.
Well, I think it takes practice for sure. Like I do. I look at the big things and I wonder why I can't. Like I'm focused on those things as opposed to finding gratitude in the little things that kind of make up a day as opposed to make up a life. Like some sort of larger story I'm trying to tell about who I am as a person, and so I get caught up with the milestones or signposts in life, and yet I don't do that in my grief. Like I'll often tell people who are struggling with grief, I'll say like it's not the birthdays, it's not the day that they died, it's not the holidays that sneak up on you. It's like the everydays.
It's a wind that blows like while you're walking down the
Yeah,
street.
that-
and like,
that
where
can
the
get
fuck
you,
did that
but-
come from?
But in terms of gratitude in my life, I think I struggle with that concept. It doesn't translate.
Well, I think I understand that too, because I think about, just the way I feel in my family. You know, there's always an outpouring of love, and I'm always a little bit like, ooh, you know, I don't know why. I'm always like a little. I'm gonna say cringy,
Okay.
but I'm not outwardly cringy. There's a little part of me that repels it. In the same way that I repel the gratitude. And it's it's definitely a me thing,
Yeah.
you know? It's like it's hard to understand, it's hard to let in.
Yeah.
It's hard to let in that love.
I totally get that.
Hmm.
Just to go back a little bit, when you're talking about that gratitude, are you talking about people who are sharing gratitude with you, or you feeling gratitude for those things within
It's
your
when
family?
people share gratitude for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Or, you know,
Grady and I try never to do that.
it's actually not my friends as much as it is my
Family.
family.
Yeah.
You know, and I have a grandmother who was so overwhelmingly like loving, and I
Yeah.
just maybe took it for granted, or because now that she's gone, I think about it a lot, and I
Right,
think about how
right.
loving she
Mm.
was and how nice that was.
Mm.
Does it have to do with feeling vulnerable?
Maybe.
Because I know, again, I go back to my grief, but this whole fucking podcast is about that bullshit. It was very hard for me to show my vulnerability to my mother and my sister after my father died, because I just couldn't do it. I was like determined not to do it. And I had that same thing with family. I couldn't show that. Not that I thought it was weakness. I just didn't know how to grieve. I didn't feel safe, I guess, and
Well,
in a lot of ways
It's
to be that
interesting
vulnerable.
how you will choose when you're vulnerable. Like there are times that acting is vulnerability,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Would you agree? There's a risk you're taking.
Yes, I think we've established that and my acting life and my real life are very different.
Yeah, but so on the planes of vulnerability, we've got two. What's it called? Levels.
Highways?
No, what's it called when you're? It's a spectrum. It's a
Okay.
spectrum. I'm thinking of the political spectrum.
Yeah.
It's politics, but you've got one side and another.
For sure.
What do we think is going on upstairs?
Could be like football party, like
Oh, right, it's Sunday. We're never
football.
here this late. That's why.
Yeah. Let me just say, real football is played all over the world. All right,
Mm.
I'm just putting that out there.
know.
That's football.
Football.
world's football.
Football.
Anyway, sorry.
No. It was. I don't think they can. I don't think the audience can hear it, but like, we're gonna hear it. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Stall to try to get your thoughts together. Try to get your thoughts together. Grady, you got a book. Why don't you read from it?
I do have a book.
Damn.
Did you find your quote?
Claire and I are doing all the heavy lifting, and Grady's making faces. No, I
No.
no, I
never mind.
didn't find it.
This is not
He's got
that
another
kind of. This is one of those like flip to a page and just read it. Let me see if I can find another one.
Oh,
his
his face.
So let's get to Miss. While
Oh,
I
no.
try to put my thoughts together. Gratitude is only about being thankful for big things. Well, I think we just covered that, right? Most of the time, it is about finding the gratitude in
I
the
don't
little
like these
things.
absolutes with AI. It's not only about big things, though.
I know, but it gives us opportunities to talk about it.
I'm grateful that this zipper on this book carrier works because it broke, and I'm so grateful every time I open it up that it works.
See?
I just
See?
I feel gratitude about that.
do you really feel gratitude about
Yes.
it?
I am grateful that I know how to open a can of soup. But guess what? They
I
fixed
don't
that.
think that this is helpful.
You're not grateful when you turn the car on, your car works. You're like, thank goodness everything's working today.
Wait, Matt, do you
No.
want us to fix your
No.
gratitude problem?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Have you guys not understood the reason I have called you here every Sunday is to help fix my problems?
We have to fix the gratitude problem.
We're
We
not
have to
gonna meet in
crack
the afternoon anymore
gratitude.
because I don't like this.
We're trying to help my kids live a better life than I did. That's really what we're doing by ignoring them in the other room and talking.
Then
Okay,
let's write a check.
For $500,000? That's a callback to a joke, ladies and gentlemen,
I
that you
think-
have not heard.
You
I
have
think
not
we
heard it.
have to examine that statement
Okay.
and think about
I just wanna be
how
fixed. I just wanna
not
be
bad your
fixed.
life was.
Just want to be fixed.
Aren't you grateful? You're like, oh my God, that door never locks. I finally got the key to work. I'm so grateful for that.
No.
Thank you.
There's
No.
that, yes.
No.
See, that's where I feel like small gratitudes come into
lead to
important
the bigger
play
ones.
here. It's like the animals. Like our animals, the pets that we have show love to us.
Right.
And we can love them back. And that is a less complicated love than the love between humans. And that is a small gratitude. Well, it could be a big one depending on who you are. But like,
I have two instances
okay.
that I think I felt genuine gratitude, and I don't think that they're small ones. I don't know. I struggle. I think I struggle with the big and the small. But I remember very, very distinctly in my life, I mean, genuine gratitude. I went to Roger Williams University, hey-ho, and go Hawks. You're not getting my money, not till you reinstate the theater department as a major. And as a theater major, we had to study in London junior year. Like they had a program in which you spent 3 months in London taking classes and stuff like that. It was part of the curriculum. You had to do it. It's kind of like why I chose going to Roger Williams. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I saw Judi Dench in The Seagull. I saw Jude Law in a play called Ion. I saw Stephen Delane, otherwise known as Stannis Baratheon, play Hamlet.
Thank you for that. Didn't know
Seen
that
him
was-
naked.
Oh.
See a lot of people naked.
So
And
grateful.
mostly men in the London
They
stage.
love to take
They
it
just
off in
yes,
London.
all their pants down everywhere.
What's wrong with
And
that?
nothing. There's nothing wrong with it. They also like to spit. It's really great. They just put it all out there. Not at the same time. Not pulling pants down and spitting at the same time. It's a different thing.
Well.
Anyway, so I got to study. I saw 68 plays in 3 months. It was by far the strongest influence in my life in terms of creating my director's mind.
That'll give you some gratitude that
I
you got to
think-
do that.
It was very clear to me when I was there for a short time of how much my parents had done for me to get me to this place. I was flush with emotion, probably 3 or 4
Gratitude.
weeks into it. And clear as day, it was because of all the work my father did when he was a kid, the fact that he decided he didn't want to grow up poor, the fact that he didn't want to have a family and be poor, and he worked hard his entire life. And him and my mom have sacrificed in order to give me gifts like this. It was so clear to me. It still stands out as one of the clearest moments of gratitude and appreciation I think I've ever had in my entire life. And I let them know. I absolutely let them know. The other more recent moment of gratitude that I've experienced, I think, is another big one, and we've discussed it on the podcast. Actually, it was when I was dealing with the idea of being dyslexic, and how originally it created such a strong sadness and anger in me until my close friend and mentor Peter had said to me, "It doesn't surprise me," and he explained in a beautiful way that I may not be the type of performer I was if this casualness with language was part of my struggle. And he said, would you rather be more well-read or be the type of performer that you are? And I think of myself as a pretty spontaneous performer. I think I like to practice what I preach. I'm a big person in discovery. I never really settle in on anything. I'm an amateur actor, so I don't have to please an audience for hundreds and hundreds of shows. I will continue to search and find things and stay present. And he believes that type of stuff, as we call being a problem for some directors, that me being a problem is a direct result of being dyslexic. And all of that sadness and all of that anger disappeared. And I had
Clean
real appreciation for who I was, real gratitude for who I was, maybe for the first time in my life. I don't know that I've ever felt it as clearly as I did in that moment. So those are two genuine. And I think they're probably pretty big moments. They're not the everyday moments that we're talking about.
I think that the everyday moments I think you're missing is that you are always grateful for discovery.
I'm grateful for the theory of it, like the practice of it. I think I'm grateful. I'm grateful for being the what I think is a pretty at least around here original creative mind. You know, I have gratitude for that, but I also feel like I've earned that. I feel like my education has helped me earn that place. But like the gratitude for my car starting or having groceries or these little things, I think I brush them off.
Well, and that's where we need to, if we practice more gratitude collectively,
The small things you can take in the big things.
collectively as a human race, if we
You're
express
absolutely right.
more gratitude for the small things, then we would be less upset when, someone maybe a tiny little fender bender, or it's not always a blame game, or you understand how busy people are at the holidays, so you're not pissed off if they don't have time to gift wrap your stuff at the store.
It's hard to get road rage when you think of everybody as trying their hardest and trying their
Exactly.
best.
Yes.
You know?
Isn't it, though?
Exactly.
I say that to my students often, and I didn't really even realize how it connects to gratitude.
I think about
But
that
like
a
if we
lot.
assume that everybody is trying their hardest, it's really hard to get mad
Or
at
that
someone
everybody's
for
going
not being successful.
Yeah, if they're either you assume that everyone's trying their hardest or they're going through their hardest
Yep.
time.
Yeah. It does.
Either or, it pushes you to
I struggle with people in that sense when I know people who don't express this gratitude for the small things, and they make everything a problem. And I really struggle with people like that because they don't jive with my flow. It doesn't flow. It doesn't go with my flow.
Yeah.
Which is a nice way of putting it.
For sure. I definitely think I struggle with that. I think it's easier to look for me to accept the negative than it is the positive of the everyday
Of course
things.
it is. Again, I think gratitude is often hiding out in plain sight. The other stuff is right in front of you. It's easier to grab. It's harder to push it away and go, oh, there you are. Come here. I want to talk to you. Not you, the dark cloud. Go away. Don't need you right now. Don't know that I need the gratitude either, but I'm glad to know that you're there. Better that than dark cloud. I don't know.
I do think I have gratitude for
You have a lot more gratitude than you I think know how to put into words.
Yeah.
well, I think I'm better at sharing my gratitude than I am feeling it.
Okay, well that's
You know?
valid. I think I'm probably the same way.
I mean, it does show in you. You're a kind person.
I mean,
Thank
you're a kind of person, yeah.
Thank you.
You're a kind of person that
Kind of. Oh, I see what you did there. I see you worked with it. I don't blame you because you guys were saying nice things about me, and I was trying to think of how can I turn this into a joke and be mean in this moment and make a funny. I know.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, but it's hard. It's hard to take compliments.
I can't. Yeah, no,
It's very,
no.
very hard because it's hard it comes to not really knowing how to appreciate it or have gratitude for ourselves.
Some people can take compliments.
Yes, some people can
I find
easily.
it fascinating.
That people can take compliments.
Yeah, when someone gives a compliment, you can tell someone genuinely takes it in. I find it fascinating.
I wonder. Are you finished? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I think I'm done.
I have a question about that, though.
Okay.
Grady, when people give you compliments, do you feel genuinely appreciative and show it, or is it an act?
You were like going where I was going, but more about myself. But she's onto something.
Because I've seen what I think is gratitude in your face when I've given you a compliment.
I don't hide my feelings very well with my face. So if you see my face, what you're seeing is what you're getting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wonder about.
I might not take it with me and hold on to it forever.
Mm-hmm.
But in the moment, if that person wants to express gratitude to me, I will in kind match their energy. If that makes sense.
I was.
It doesn't mean that I'm taking it in or I necessarily believe it.
Okay. That's different.
So it's not me faking it because I'm giving back the love they're giving to me. It just doesn't mean that if someone says, I think that you are XY performer or this was... If someone says to me, this is difficult. Yeah, I don't really take compliments and things very well.
Well, because it sounds like if you're giving it back to somebody or you're matching their energy, that means that you're actually deflecting the compliment.
No, because that would be hurting them. That would hurt someone's feelings.
But they might not know that. I have a hard time taking compliments. Super hard. I don't believe anyone.
See, that's interesting, because I believe you're telling the truth. Like, you don't believe that.
So then you fake it?
Yes, unless I hear it from somebody whose opinion I highly value and trust.
I get out of there real quick if I'm hearing too many compliments. I get out of there real quick. I don't need it.
I'm just going to say for myself, I just realized that compliments that I believe are true, compliments about things that I feel like I'm good at, I will be like, oh, shucks, no, you know, and I will deflect and I will push them off, and not in the moment feels like a performative way, but is absolutely, because I believe it to be true, and yet I'm like, you have to be humble, be humble, be humble, and yet a compliment that I don't believe is true, I'm desperate for. I'm desperate for somebody to say to me in a way that I would never deflect, and I would just be like, oh, like food for my soul.
So you want someone to tell you that you did a bad job?
No, I want someone to say, you're cute, or you're good looking, or I find you attractive, or that's sexy. All of that stuff that I don't believe about myself. If someone said it, whether they had any credibility or not with me, I would be like, oh, that's so, no fake humility. I would gobble up that compliment in a way that I would never do over something that I genuinely believed about myself.
Interesting.
I just figured that out while we were talking.
Let's take a minute.
We don't have a minute. We got to get right to everything.
Oh.
I absolutely.
So if someone
What?
says
No, what?
something about you that you think is untrue about yourself,
Yes.
and it's the opposite of what you believe, you are going to take that compliment and you're going to cherish it, or you're going to not cherish it.
I guess it categorically probably doesn't have to do with my art as much as it has to do with my person.
Okay, two different things.
Yeah. Because with my art, I absolutely, if I didn't believe something and somebody said something to me, I don't know how I'd feel, because I'm desperately afraid of being a fraud. That's a huge part of my my buttons, and why when people fucking put all over the internet, we're gonna have to cut this, how
we
happy
are.
they are for
We are.
awards that they
We are.
nominated themselves for,
Yes.
and what an honor it is. I go, what a fucking fraud.
You're
It
breaking
means
up.
nothing. You nominated yourself
You're breaking
for
up.
something. It
You're
means
breaking
Sorry, I
up.
didn't hear that. I didn't catch that.
Oh, it's so infuriating to me. It's
that a
over.
ship?
I'm over.
It's a foghorn?
Yes, there's a ship coming in to the
It's so
parking lot.
foggy outside.
When I come in contact with fabrics, I'm transported
But
to another.
if maybe. All right, I said I'm done. I'm done.
Grady's not done.
Oh well, you have a lovely voice when you try. That was lovely, wasn't it? We were a nice 3-part harmony.
Yeah. Well, no, we weren't in 3-part harmony, but
Claire,
it
just
sounded
cheat.
good.
I gave him a compliment that maybe he would take, even though it wasn't true.
You can't lie.
There was-
Look at that!
No,
Look
but
at
there-
look at
there
he's
was-
spawning
there
all
was
over. He's
some-
like,
there was
oh,
something-
I did sound good, didn't
No,
I?
no,
And you wrote a naughty book about it. Look at this. Oh, thank you.
Matt's
Look,
smiling a lot today.
Yeah,
Look,
he is.
Look,
He's got a new sweater.
sweatshirt. I wear sweaters. Don't ruin my rap on the street. No, I will say that I didn't think that I sounded good, but I did entertain the fact that maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it could be.
I stopped because it was
Because
like
it was something that I didn't believe about myself. So I immediately had the moment.
There
of
it
like,
was. You went,
ooh. Was a, oh, no.
I think it
That
was
can't
like,
be true.
we weren't actually in 3-part harmony,
Then I-
but
yeah.
it was.
Then I
It
look at the
wasn't
actual-
terrible. It wasn't terrible. Oh Lord.
Oh, Lord.
I am grateful for the two of you with this podcast.
All right, let's go to the paper. Let's go to the paper.
Wow.
Okay, back to the myths. Back to the myths.
my
Gratitude is about saying thank you.
Nope.
All right. Discuss? Nope. While expressing gratitude verbally is important, true gratitude goes beyond words.
Mm-hmm.
It involves a genuine feeling of appreciation and can be expressed through actions, kindness, and thoughtfulness towards others. So that's about sharing. Sharing gratitude.
We're doing sex.
Grady is gyrating in his chair. I don't know why.
Because my
Milkshake
Poop.
brings all the... I don't know.
We're ending every show now
You
with
need sound
3-part
effects.
harmony. I can do them all. What do you need? Just tell me the things you want, and I'll do them.
So, anyways,
Birds.
I do believe that words are more hollow than actions. Actions are things that define who we are. You can say I'm one thing, but if you do the opposite of it, you're more of the person of what you do than what you say. Gratitude is a passive practice. I don't think that.
What?
Gratitude
Wait,
is
wait.
a passive practice.
No, I heard you.
Oh.
Yeah, I said it right, but what? Gratitude.
What does that mean?
You didn't say repeat. Gratitude is often seen
That's
as
very-
a passive state of mind, but it can be an active practice. It involves actively seeking and recognizing the positive aspects of life, intentionally cultivating a grateful mindset, and actively expressing appreciation to others. I think this goes along with what you were saying, Claire, about finding the smaller things in everyday life and having more appreciation for them. You have to actively do that. I can't just expect it to happen within me without actually
because we forget
pursuing it.
we forget stuff. We're too busy. We want the day's stresses to go away. We want to not be tired by drinking coffee. We want to unwind by having a glass of wine or a cigarette or a joint, whatever, or
cigarettes.
right?
Kids don't smoke.
And don't smoke. Oh my God, don't
Don't
smoke.
start because you'll never want to quit.
I
miss it.
Okay, but the ways to fully appreciate how your day went is by, there's a practice. If you write down what you're grateful for or what your list was for the day before you go to bed, if you do that like every day for a month, you'll probably be happier.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm going to try to do that actually.
There's a laziness to.
It's hard.
Mental health,
I tried
I
to do, yes, I've tried to do it before. It is difficult. I mean, there was a time in my life where I actually did journal every single night before bed. I had to do it or else I had dizziness when I was trying to fall asleep.
Really?
Yeah, I was like in my teens. But I had to get it all out.
Yeah.
And then I stopped having to do that. And now I'm just like, my cells will regenerate while I'm sleeping. I'll be fine. And then I wake up in the morning feeling refreshed. But there are times at night where I'm like, I have to make my gratitude list. I don't feel like it. I'm too tired. Sometimes I'm too tired to brush my fucking teeth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, I do know.
I wonder if. No, I was just wondering if I could do it, to be perfectly honest, as you were talking about it.
But I'm not too tired to try and learn a specific song right before I go to sleep because
It's a special interest.
It's a special interest and it triggers my ego.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I like to think about myself.
But is there anything wrong with that?
Sometimes. If it
At
gets
the
out of
sacrifice
control.
of others?
What?
At the sacrifice of others? And then you said if it gets out of control.
At the sacrifice of like my own sanity. You know, if you're too self-obsessed, then like others, yes, will fall into your maelstrom. But like if
Don't
you're
be sexist. Stupid joke. I apologize.
spelled MAELSTROM.
Of course, it was dumb. I derailed this. Do you think though at this point in your life, with as evolved as your brain has become, that is a real danger?
I'm getting better at it. I have to catch myself though. I have to actively express gratitude. I have to actively help others. And because if I don't, then I will recline into the comfortable chair of Claire's world.
Sponsored by Bob's Furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the right chair could help. Gratitude ignores negative emotions or challenges.
Ignores.
That's what it says.
Gratitude ignores nothing.
Practicing gratitude does not mean ignoring or denying negative emotions or challenges. It involves acknowledging and accepting difficult situations while also finding ways to focus on the positive aspects or opportunities to grow that may arise from them. I think that's a lot of what you're saying.
Yeah, I see a glass half full.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about how like tough experiences can actually help us grow, and for that we can be grateful for the tough experiences that we've had. Right?
Yeah, we
Yes.
didn't. That's a tough one, for sure.
It's so tough.
But we obviously learn more from failure than we do from success. Success feels good, and success is inflates our ego.
Can you honestly say that you are happy that you are where you're at today and that you're grateful for the life that you have?
Is that directed to me?
Yes.
God, this is recording. This is going to go out to the world. What am I supposed to say?
Vulnerability, Matt. That's the whole point of this podcast.
I think I can say with full honesty that I'm not a happy person. You know, I think there are things in my life that I am appreciative for and feel very lucky to have, but on a day-to-day feeling of happiness and letting joy into my life, it is very, very difficult for me to experience those things or let myself experience those things. I'm working on it. I'm working on getting better, but like,
What's getting better? Have you always been that way?
I probably have.
What do you mean? You probably have, or you haven't? Is it chemical? Is this a chemical imbalance?
Do we need to put you on a different medication?
No, I don't think so. I think my medication's
joking.
okay, doc. But
Seriously though, is it chemical?
I think
was there a
there's-
switch when you
I think there is
hit
there's a
puberty
chemical
and became
thing.
a man? Like,
I
I don't mean- I'm not
I
joking.
became a man at my bar mitzvah. That's according to Jewish law.
well, when you had the little creeper stash on, I'm sure, yeah. But
Did I? I never.
I don't think you did.
Well, but are you trying to, Grady? Are you asking if this is a recent development or if this has been plaguing you your whole life?
Both, because I mean, if it's been plaguing your whole life, you have to wonder: is it a buildup, and then is it chemical, and can it be worked on? I don't believe in fixing people.
I think it's both chemical and psychological, and the medicine that I'm on prevents my what I would say is my, I wouldn't say
It
depression,
builds up
but
a wall.
unhappiness now from spiraling deep below the surface.
Yeah.
I think when the chemicals in my body are not, it is very easy for me to spiral very deep below the surface.
very quickly, right?
And yes, and that becomes dangerous to myself and all of that.
But what's good about the medication? I mean, I didn't mean to go there. That was actually mostly a joke. But now that you bring it up, I think that the medication, yes, it helps you from spiraling further downward. But now that you've got your head above the ground,
psychologically is what I have to fix.
that now we have the opportunity to actually do the work.
Okay, well, here's the deal with the medications, though.
Yes.
If they keep you from spiraling down really quickly, what do they also do?
I don't know what's the
Well,
answer.
they keep you at a mean. They keep you right at what I call a flatline position, where you
Yes.
can't
I
really
don't-
get that upset, but you can't really get that excited either.
For me, my medication doesn't work like that. Like I don't feel like that. I can absolutely get. I am not numb to feelings. I'm feeling things. It just prevents me from going too low. That's for
That's
me. I know
interesting.
that that's not true for everybody.
No, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
I
mean,
know
there's-
that it has numbed a lot of people, medication. But for me, what it's done is I still, when I'm happy and I feel joy, as I have during this broadcast, is that what you call it?
Wow,
Yes,
we've
it is now.
upgraded to
It is
broadcast.
It is now.
There's real joy, you know?
Yeah.
And there's real anger and there's real sadness, but it doesn't, again, it keeps me from spiraling below the surface. Is really what it is. But I think you're right. It's now I've got to mentally be more active in finding the gratitude.
You know, sometimes I think that when you experience a big life change, like the only way I can describe this is by using my own personal experience, is that there was a point in my life before I got sober that I was miserable and I was unhappy where I was. I hadn't achieved any of the things that I wanted to achieve on paper. And then when I made a big life change and I had a perspective change as well about my life, I started to understand that I was grateful for where I was, even if it wasn't where I wanted to be. And it's because it's like a switch flipped. And I was like, oh, it's actually okay that I'm almost 30 and not married with children. Oh, it's actually okay that I had to move back home and I have no money. Oh, it's actually okay because...
And I'll add something, and it actually always was okay.
Well, I didn't know that.
That's the thing, though,
Yeah.
right? And you learn that not just it is okay, it actually always was okay.
It always was, and everybody told me that
You
it
were the
was
monster,
okay.
and then we're the monster at the end of the book.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sing it, Grover. Sing it.
Yes.
It's true.
So
Spoilers.
I now, even though I have
I'm
opportunities
glad
now
about
to...
that for you, Claire.
It's fine.
Care? I called you Care, but
okay.
you are Care to me.
They called me,
Oh.
a theater that I did a show at once left the L out of my name.
In the program?
Program.
That's kind of lovely, though. Care.
Care Clenny. But anyway.
Wait, did they put the L in the...
No, we just joked about it. My friends and I put the L in somewhere else.
Okay.
So
Easy.
All right. Don't you?
don't know why.
Matt's
I don't
like
know why.
this. Matt's like this.
This very much.
So I guess the point that I'm trying to get at is that I can tap into gratitude now easily, but I do have to make myself do that because I can so easily settle into this person pissed me off today. I don't like how this happened. This bothered me, blah, blah, blah. And that could be my entire day until I'm exhausted. But I do have that ability to sit down and write down, well, I'm grateful that I didn't have a drink today, or I'm grateful that I can express this gratitude, or I'm grateful that I can actually move my thought to shift it to an uplifting thought rather than focusing on staying in the negative. So am I happier? The things that I thought would make me happy, I don't have those things today, but I'm still content. And it's because actually I've focused on growing the things that actually help me and Claire, and actually like making new friends and like being able to like do this podcast, which is like huge. This has been really, really positive for me this year. And being able to getting along with my parents, getting to like have a wonderful relationship with them that I didn't have before.
Yeah.
And changing relationships at my job and changing my job and doing all these other things like that. I think I shifted my focus on what I wanted to have work out in my life for me. And I just did a 180 and I was like, let's go back and fix a couple of other things about who I am, and then try and focus on working on who I genuinely am.
Instead of meeting these arbitrary goals that you had kind of set for yourself, probably based upon society and other things for your...
But I had to do some work and figure out who I want to be.
Yeah.
And that was somebody that I had lost along the way. You know,
Yes, I do know.
Where did Claire want to go? What did she want to do? And then I got confused and didn't do those things. And now I'm revisiting. So... And it's a little bit of, you know, they talk about that inner child and revisiting your younger self, which I always find is really hard.
It's
very emotional. And one emotion can, I've cried a lot. It's very hard.
And working on Christopher was an exercise in just revisiting my inner child every day, in and out, in and out, in and out.
Because it's
making sure he's okay.
You have to tap into a really...
I know we keep talking about the same show. Sorry, listeners.
But it makes sense. You have to tap into a really simple, basic human emotion, which is whatever that means for you. Like, what's something that you didn't get?
A lot.
When you were a child that you would love to have now.
So let's look at Christopher, right? Because
sure.
I feel like... And thank you, Claire. That was all very...
beautiful.
Yeah.
It was.
Thank God we shut up.
I'm about to say, let the men be quiet for a minute.
Oh, fucking!
Women are smarter anyway.
Oh my God! Stop.
It's true. Your maelstrom stays on my mind.
So let's
spell that again.
Let's talk about Christopher.
Yes.
Because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong. Verbally, what comes out of you mostly in your postpartum depression after the show has been shaded towards the negative and the loss. And I wonder, Justin, what Claire was saying and how enthusiastic you were about being able to revisit your inner child. Like, what are the things that what are the gifts that Christopher has given you that you can now start to put into your life?
I guess I'm not ready to. I can't unpack those yet. It's too soon.
Is it?
I guess right now I'm having a problem with living on the deficit of wanting more time to explore that, and more time to live in that space, because felt like I was just getting to a place. I would get to different places of healing during the show, after the show, back to the show, and then it's like over with.
But I mean,
So I just-
isn't
and I've told myself this. I'm going to cut you off, and I'll just forget my thought. I said to a friend of mine the other day, I said, look, not a lot of people saw this show. I said, so I can live on the deficit of, well, nobody saw this, or I can live on the deficit of the universe put into that audience exactly who needed to see this show, not one person more and not one person less. And what I've done this show for just one person in that audience, absolutely 100%. It wouldn't have changed anything. So I'm very, 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 very grateful. But there's a 15-year-old in me still that is abandoned and not fully healed, that is like, why did it have to end? That was so good for me. And I have to let him know, like, you're okay. We only got to do that for a minute, but it's going to live with us for a long time. And what we got to do was really important. And I say we because your inner child does want to talk to you and does want to come out and play. And I got to let him out and play so much more than I ever do in my daily life. You helped me do that. And you basically broke it down. Like, if you can't let your inner child out to actually play, even though it's going to be painful, you will not be able to succeed the way I know you can in this role. So again, I've said this before, I appreciate that from you.
I'm a genius.
Okay.
Oh,
No, I get. I say it sarcastically. I think
No.
we all knew
The
that.
topic is gratitude, not overinflation
Oh,
of
that's
the ego.
true. That's true.
I'm so
Um,
I'm very grateful for everything that has come from this show. That is still it's coming.
I wonder if your fear of unpacking it makes you feel like you're going to move on from him. If you, and right now you're holding on to you're holding on and not moving in this memory, so that it doesn't shake it up. It doesn't
guess
destroy it in some way. And I wonder if unpacking him at this point, unpacking things that just anything, may be the right next step for you to continue the growth with Christopher, as opposed to putting him behind you.
I think you're exactly right. I think I'm also really still. I for all intents and purposes, for most people, I shouldn't be. But I'm still really, really. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. I couldn't have been more vulnerable on that stage unless I'd taken my clothes off, and I don't even think that's really vulnerability. But I just don't. Yeah, I think I'm still really tired.
Yeah.
It's interesting that
And it did not hit really until like a few days ago. I was like, I'm so fucking exhausted. It's not from being autistic. It's not from being on the spectrum. It's not from ADHD. It's from just.
I think it's from that read-through.
Leaving.
Read-through made you exhausted.
No, cut it. Okay, well, this is a sliced up episode. I think that where
Anything wrong.
I think that where I'm coming from. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not.
No, it's like the idea of moving on to another show.
It's okay. It's okay with me.
Yeah, but it can remind you of of having trouble letting go.
I don't want to say.
Easy, Susan.
This is. I'm not gonna. We're recording. I'm not gonna say what I want to say here. It's because it's not. It's hurtful.
Yeah, no. I'm not asking you to. I'm just saying, like, in general.
I think that it's beyond Christopher playing a role like this, and I think I pulled it off. I hope I did.
But it sounds like that when you talk about this, it's like this experience for you. It wasn't just doing a show.
No.
It was
No.
It was
so much more.
It was a process of therapy. It was a process of discovery. It was a process of moving through something. Which, can you honestly say that is a healthy way for you to be working through that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because to me, it sounds slightly unsafe. And maybe it's because of how I look at theater and performances, because I feel like I have to be, like when it comes to working with others and being in a show, and then I have an audience, I can't let that audience determine how I'm performing or determine what kind of an experience I'm going to have. So I can't mix up the emotion in the audience. I can't mix up the fact that I'm going through something on stage and I don't know what I'm trying to say anymore, but it has to do with the fact that I think there's one part of me that is incredibly vulnerable when I am performing, and I don't want that vulnerability to get mixed up with the work that I'm trying to do.
No, it's very
psychologically.
it's very complicated. You have to do your homework, and you have to do your prep work. I had to go into that theater ready every night.
So
But
that's so hardcore.
I had to go into that theater ready every single night, so I'd be okay. Because I've seen people go too far, take things too far, use theater as therapy, even though it oftentimes becomes therapy. But that cannot be your goal. The text is not a doctor.
No, so maybe the show that we're doing now is going to be like eating ice cream after a really big dinner.
Which is, I think, I think so too. I think that it will.
I mean, we weren't as crude as calling it ice cream, with milk and stuff. We were more of like a sorbet.
I think on the
Oh, right. We did talk about that. Yeah. Oh, no, sorbet way more, because
think-
ice cream
Thank
can
you.
actually mix up my stomach.
the gratitude that I can accept very much so is that at my age, getting to have a director go, let's do a memory play, and you can play this role. I'm forever grateful for that. This is something that should not on paper ever happen. Shouldn't on paper ever happen. And I don't know that I'll ever see this show with someone that's not in their 20s probably playing this role, which is fine. But I am so grateful for that, because like it says in the show, I mean, that was truly for me. I know some people don't believe in bucket lists and all that and whatever, but I believe in dreams, and that was a dream come true. It truly was for me.
Well, it seems like
And to share that with everyone was a dream come true.
you're building your dream to be bigger, because now you've moved on to this other thing, which is fine. Are you okay?
Am I
Say
okay?
anything?
Yeah, no, I'm
No,
totally fine. I'm totally fine. And
I think when I talk about unpacking Christopher and your experience, getting to
he
explore
hides. I don't know where-
your inner child through Christopher's experience and stuff like that. I'm wondering if, and I'm not a therapist, but I'm wondering if taking the next logical step, like actively, not passively, letting him sit within you, but finding the parallels and uncovering commonality and other stuff, really like unpacking the experience with you, with these people, with your idea of stimming and masking and where just everything.
Right.
If actively moving and continuing to work with him outside of performance may be the healthiest way to continue to keep it all alive and pay the tribute that I think you deeply want to pay to Christopher.
Yeah.
And I think there is in your postpartum now a real chance, or even a real trap in just putting together a memorial and worshiping at that as
that's
opposed
very
to
true.
as
That's
opposed to unpacking. Does that make sense?
Yes, no, it's very, 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 very. No. That's very, 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 very true. Nobody needs to. Again, I say this all the time. Don't go to the graveyard and sit around looking for life. You go to the graveyard, pay your respects, and get out of there. I can't sit at a memorial. I mean, we can have the memorial service, but I'm the only one sitting there. What's happening here?
Well, in this case, I agree with that. I'm not sure that I jump on that whole metaphor, but we can talk about that at another time.
It is time to move on, because that's what happens.
And again, move on, I don't think is the right language for it.
There's just
Forward,
moving
onward,
forward,
That's the whole idea, right?
onward. Yes,
That's what I'm saying. Not even move on, not move past it, but like move forward.
I guess it
with
was just
Christopher as part of your life. Move forward as Grady Boone. figuring out what that
Yeah.
is, as opposed to, and what Claire has been saying this whole time, which is something that I'm just
Maybe I'm
pointing it at you, but I got to do myself.
No, I
is
hear
to
you.
actively be pursuing these things as opposed to passively waiting for
I'm
them
working
to
on that.
come up on us.
I'm working on that.
Yeah.
I find that I don't know that a lot of people know what to do with Grady Boone, or I do, but it's like, okay, well, now I've got to show you who I am. I guess what I'm mourning is that for 2 hours, for 57 scenes,
Yeah.
no one judged me. No one. I don't. It's just. It's the safest space I've ever been.
And you probably felt very seen.
And yes, I completely did. And it wasn't for. I didn't have to try for it.
Yeah.
I didn't have to beg for it. I didn't have to explain myself. And it was just a beautiful thing to be a part of. And it was just so great. And I've never felt that. And it was really liberating for me on stage. And I hope I'll be able to bring that into other roles if I choose to do many other roles. I don't really think there's a lot more for me that I want to do.
Yeah, but like outside of the art, just outside,
Just bringing it
outside of
into
that.
day-to-day life. Yeah, I'm working on
I
it.
wonder, and correct me if I'm wrong, Claire, I wonder if now that you've had the experience of feeling seen and understood, that maybe there is a lot more of the outside world that isn't like the people who surrounded you when you grew up with.
Yeah.
And that they are more accepting and they do see you, and that you don't have to mask as much as you like. Can you bring some of that feeling of relief and freedom and feeling seen? Can you bring that now to real life? Because I think we know most people don't give a fuck about anything but themselves in real life,
Mm-hmm.
and so you're probably not being as judged as maybe you think you are. You can maybe feel safer and not masking and being who you are. I don't know. I mean, but can you bring that positive experience out into every day instead of feeling like you have to revert back to?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm working on it. It still feels so fresh.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like any small or enormous sense of gratitude for yourself that you actually have the ability to feel all of these things and do all of these things? Because everything that I'm hearing you say is just, it's remarkable. It is remarkable. You're giving me a quizzical look, which I'm gonna say.
No, I'm just listening.
Yeah,
I don't.
Not a lot of people have the ability to feel that and to bring what you brought to that performance, or to understand the gravity of what it meant, or to have executed it the way you did. And in the
Thank you, I
aftermath,
appreciate that.
in the aftermath of this is also where the work it's continuing.
The work is continuing. I mean, yeah.
And it's not, none of this is a bad thing. It's just uncovering a lot, which I think that
Thank
if
you,
you have
Claire.
the ability to feel all of these things, then you have the ability. It's like you have a deep connection with the earth. And that's the only thing that I know how to say, because I feel like it's hard to be grounded, and it's hard to be grounded to the core of anything. And the only thing I can connect with in the core of anything is like the earth, because we physically are here. I don't know what it's like to feel like grounded with anything above, just, below. But when you are so in tune with everything that's going on around you, it allows you to actually experience and feel way more than anybody else possibly can.
It's a big deal. I also like, on a totally separate note too, just about your experience with you and Christopher, just because we're here, how interesting the self-consciousness that you have felt in life, you can be freed by Christopher's unself-consciousness.
So he's
Too.
completely. He does
know?
it. Yeah.
And yet he did have to mask and in some ways.
In some ways, sure.
But anyways, it's that's to me the real gift is what Claire was saying, is that that connection will continue to grow within you. And I guess my point is that, like for myself, and I'm saying it to you for me really, is that I have to shift what I believe this milestone that's coming up in my life where I should be, and start to really ask myself, what are the things that make me happy? You know, I have a very, very clear idea of what I thought it was my whole life. And let's be honest, I have been totally and completely unsuccessful with that. So maybe it's not what I think it is, and maybe it's something else. And in order to uncover that, like I would with any real creative project, I would throw a lot of paint against the wall. I would try different things. I would try to discover by not exactly knowing what it was in order to find it. And I have not done that.
But in the same way you're asking me, can I pull this out into my real life? Can you pull out your need for discovery and curiosity and non-order and letting things come to you organically? And can you pull that into your real life?
I have to be active.
It's hard,
in
I'm
pursuing
sure.
It's very hard, especially because I have.
But you
I
want
have
it, though, is
very
the thing.
clear, I don't want to feel the way that I feel.
I know you don't.
You know.
I know. But you want that other. You want that feeling of discovery and freshness and curiosity probably every day.
Well,
Not a feeling of like, oh, here
would
comes
li- I
today.
Would like to figure out what that thing is in me, outside. You know,
How do you flip the
outside
switch?
of
Maybe-
outside of just being loved?
Maybe
Right.
it's not
Yeah,
about
yeah,
figuring it out.
What I did is say.
If you try to figure it out, you're going to be spinning your wheels. You have to take action to be better. It doesn't matter to be better than what. You
Is it
just
the
have to
same
take
thing I
action.
said to you about like it's not about that it's okay. It was always okay.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yes.
I don't know how I'm tying the
It's
two
part
in,
of the
but
sandwich. It's an ingredient in the recipe.
What is better?
Okay, so it's kind of like look back but don't stare. You're getting over a relationship, and if you constantly look back and stare at the past, you won't be able to move forward. But if you take action and you actively try and put yourself back out there, you will start to feel better and have perspective changes, because then you will start to have new experiences for yourself. So looking back at the past won't feel like such a drag. So when we take action to I'm maybe I didn't use the right term, be better, but when I take action to do something to better myself, I stop feeling as bad about what happened, because yesterday was there's a great saying, yesterday was is over, tomorrow's a mystery, and today is right here.
Fuck.
Oh my God. It's a mind fuck.
Yes.
I'll come up with that when I actually have it, because it's a really, really nice saying, which is like, you can't think about tomorrow, you can't think about yesterday. Yesterday is over. You only have today, and you can only focus on what you have right now.
I don't feel like I get caught up in the past.
Okay.
You
No,
know,
I don't think you do either, man.
I really feel like my
This is Claire.
I absolutely could be wrong, but I don't feel like I'm reliving.
You're not bound to the past.
Success in the past, and why isn't success happening in the present?
I think you
I
think
really
about
don't
the future way more than the past.
I absolutely do.
Okay,
You
well,
future
that's
yourself
still
so much.
that's still
and I think
sickening.
about the past.
Yep.
I think about the past so much, not the future.
Yeah, I future myself, and you know, look,
Future tripping.
at the core, I have to make
a gratitude list every night, every day for the
Maybe.
next week. That's what we're going to
Maybe.
do.
maybe.
Mhm.
I was just going to say, I for me, the shift is I have to put the idea of being loved and giving love. It can't be the priority that makes or breaks happiness. You know,
No, because honestly, when
That's
you start
the thing
to
that has
when
to
you
shift for
yeah
me.
when you start to appreciate what you have, and everything that you do that you love, then that's really what it's about. It's about being grateful for today, because the future doesn't exist. I'm sorry.
You're right.
All
I
we can
fucking
do,
live that way.
all we can do is work on what we have today, because we don't have tomorrow. We could all die in a mailstrom tonight.
Oh God!
Of
Is that like
Claire's
a geostorm?
making.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
What is your imagination making?
I'm just kidding. No, but
goodness,
I
I'm
actually
so
do think that I'm going to put this on air, that the three of us for the next 7 days until we meet again, actually, which maybe it'll be 7 days.
Future's not promised.
Yes,
Clearly,
but
Maelstrom's coming tonight.
one day at a
Till middle
time, we're
11.
going to text each other what our gratitude list for the day, and we can also
You have been put on assignment, Grady
yeah.
Dennis.
You
So
guys
have
are-
you, Matt Young.
Yeah, but I'm all right with it. I heard
So
you
am
say-
I. I think it's fun.
We could also do highs and lows. We could do, what was great about today, what sucked about today, which is also healthy to talk about, things that sucked, and what we were grateful for.
Okay. If you, yes, I think that sounds awesome.
So that's the assignment we're actively pursuing.
And we're only
gratitude.
going to do it one day at a time, though.
Okay. Like for the day. We talk about the day. All right. Well, this had its rough spots, but like in the end, we really got there and started to uncover some real stuff.
This is a lot.
Yeah, this one was a lot.
If
Wow.
you thought you were in for a ride, well,
Happy
Wait,
Thanksgiving.
let's be positive. Let's do a positive topic.
no,
Happy
no, all these
Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. Honey, what can I tell you? I'm sleeping with your father. Don't be so dramatic.
What?
Listen, what can I say? It's the holidays and we're all in misery.
I'm actually super grateful that my family is not dramatic on the holidays. So
That's the one thing that
that's nice.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
don't have to worry about really anything.
Mine aren't either.
I think we should just leave it at that, right?
Okay, bye.
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 So what did we learn? Well, I think this one is almost pretty clear. Gratitude can come easy, but for the most part, if you want it to be a part of your life, you have to be in pursuit of it. You have to make it not be a passive thing in your life. It has to be active. You have to work at it. And that makes a lot of sense, as difficult as that can be. I am happy to say that since we've recorded this episode, myself, Claire, and Grady have given daily gratitudes to each other, listing, just like we promised in the episode. We have been on it, and it will be interesting to see how long that continues. I learned a lot in this one, to be perfectly honest. This was very informative to me. But at the core, and like so many things, you have to be active in making these things happen, and not passive and waiting for it to happen to you. Sharing gratitude feels easy at times, but actually feeling gratitude it has been a little elusive to me. So now I'm in active pursuit of it. Thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. If you like what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend's friend, tell an enemy. It doesn't matter. Share if you like it. If you don't like it, then don't share. But if you do like it, share it with your friends. Recommend it to somebody. That would be very, very nice, and we would have many, many gratitudes to send to your wife. Do you say that? Many gratitudes? Anyways, if you want to reach us, we could be reached at The Last Will Podcast on Instagram or thelastwillpodcast.com. Till next week, onward, forward.